What's going on, guys? Welcome back. It's Rick NSX for another mission. We are in the Dragon's Fury campaign, working on mission 12 today, artillery strike. So we have taken over Tinian airport, but the Chinese are firing from the north using some artillery. So we're going to go in and try to sanitize that for them. So we're going to jump in, and then we'll kind of talk about the mission as we proceed. Okay, here we go. Starter engaged. Alright, let's get the parking brake set. Let's get the engine lit. Here we go on run up. Get good ignition. RPM's climbing.
All clear for run up.
Here we go. Perfect. Alright, we have got startup.
Surface control check.
Yep, let's do it.
Controls clear. Clear. Roll left. Check. Roll right. Check. Nose down. Check. Nose up. Check. All good. Bring it back code 1, please. Good luck. Contact ground after INS is up. Thanks, Chief. I'll do my best. Dodge 1, passing waypoint 3 at 7,000.
Alright, so our loadout today is actually really similar to the last loadout. We actually have three Mavericks on each wing, and then 2 cluster bombs on each wing as well. So we are quite heavy today. And then our standard loadout of Sidewinders and AMRAMs. Plus down the middle, we have a 300-gallon fuel tank. So no ECM today, which means we gotta, if a SAM pops up for some reason, we're just gonna have to evade the old school way. So we are ready to rock. We've got INS aligned. We've got our data link set up. The jet is up and running. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the taxi lights. And we will wait for clearance. So we are flying with a group of Hornets today. The Hornets are going to go in and sanitize any of the SAM sites that might prevent us from getting in. Once they do that, Uzi group, and there's 4 of us today, all getting ready to fire a bunch of Mavericks. Once they sanitize the area of harms, the Uzi flight will come in. We're going to sanitize any AAA and any artillery that may be firing on the Marines there at Tinian. So it's going to be an exciting time. And then as we need, we've got the cluster bombs if there's a cluster of enemies or anything like that that we need to take care of. So we'll just have to get underway. So as soon as we get taxi clearance, we're going to be rolling out And joining the Hornets.
Follow the Hornets, runway 24 left. Using Bravo left on Kilo, hold short of 24 left.
Taxi on Bravo, left on Kilo, short of 24 left, following the Hornets. Uzi Flight.
The other thing about today's mission, as briefed, we're at 6,500 feet. So this is a low-level flight, all things considered. So we are going to be flying a little lower. We are going to burn a little more fuel, so we do need to be mindful of that. But as long as we keep an eye on that, keep an eye on our fuel flow and our state, we should be fine to make the mission and get back. Worst case, we hook up with Texaco and follow him around the air for a minute, and then we land back here at Andersen. So I do know we have some diversion fields. We could probably land at Rota if we had to. I did that last mission. That was my only option. So if we had to land at Rota, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. So yeah, I mean, we have options. We just got to figure out what works for us. So, all right, one more Hornet passing in front of us, and then there's the one across the way, and then we will taxi behind this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4 taxiing and turning out. Let's roll. So like I said, we are 2 flights of 4, so I expect to hear 3 rolling and 4 rolling. Yep, there we go. So it's about a 42-mile flight to Steerpoint 1. Another 50 miles to Steerpoint 2, which is target, and then Steerpoint 3 is our exit. So that'll be our egress point. Coincidentally, Steerpoint 2 is actually over Tinian Airport, and then Steerpoint 3 is a little to the west of Tinian. And then Steerpoint 4 will be flying obviously back to Andersen here, so. All right. So just watching as Dodge flight takes off. Oh, no, not Dodge. Springfield flight. Springfield 1 and 2 are up. Springfield 3 is loading up. Springfield 4 is ready to go. It's neat to see the dual burners again, and these are a little different than the F-15s we watched the other night because these are a lot closer together, not spaced quite the same way. The F-18 is a thinner bird, I think, a narrower bird, so it makes sense that their engines have to be a lot closer together. I'm used to seeing the big birds like the F-14, F-15. When I'm thinking about dual engine setups, so all right, so we are here, we're loaded up, I guess, for posterity, we'll put the takeoff lights on, landing lights. Alright, throttle's up. Airspeed's alive. Alright, there's 170. Positive rate, gear coming up. Pulling the throttles back. Alright. Rolling right, coming around. Now it's interesting because, like I said, we're flying at 6,500 feet, which means by the time we finish this turn, we'll be, you know, a third of the way there, probably. So, just interesting to be that low. Now, hopefully I'll be able to pull the throttles back a little bit to save some fuel, because, you know, the lower you are, the more fuel you're burning at the same rate of pace. So, all right.
Andersen Tower, Uzi Flight. Contact Dark Star on 355.5 uniform.
Dark Star 355.5, Uzi Flight.
Uzi Flight going to 3555.
Uzi Flight, check on Victor.
2, 3, 4. Dark Star, Uzi Flight with you, checking in. Roger, Uzi Flight, I have you. Continue as fragged. Follow the Springfield flight. Roger, following Springfield, Uzi Flight.
Alright, so Springfield's about 12 miles out. I am closing down that gap, and then I'll pull the throttles back as well. And then likewise, you know, Uzi 2, 3, and 4 will close the gap with me, and then they'll pull the throttles back once they catch up. Now it's interesting because Springfield flight is actually showing 12,000 feet right now. And we are reeling them in, so I am going to pull the throttles back. Actually reeling them in fairly quickly. Which is fine. I mean, just gives us the ability to slow down. Up at 13. I'm starting to wonder if maybe that's not a mistake, the 6,500 MSO. I mean, I know we have a completely different mission, which is why I'm not climbing, but so there's we're coming into, I think that's Rota. Yeah. Yep. So that's the island of Rota in sight.
Settled?
So there is Springfield. They are crossing my Steerpoint 1. We are still about 3.5 miles out. About 20 seconds. So I'm going to switch to Steerpoint 2 at the 10-second mark. And then I am actually going to turn on the power to the AGM-65s, the Mavericks. And I'm actually going to set up the spacing and the drop for the CBs, so the cluster bombs. So I'm gonna let the Mavericks get situated, get on, and then from there we can absolutely, about halfway, I would say in the next 20 miles, we'll go ahead and turn on the weapons view and the targeting pod, and we'll get all that set up. So everything is currently looking good. We're all set up and everything.
Stay behind us, Uzi. We'll sanitize the place and keep their heads down. But there's not much we can do about the AAA guns, and they are big ones. They can't shoot at night.
So here in a minute, we'll go lights dark, I'm sure. We'll fence in. At which point we will be pretty invisible to the naked eye. Which is probably why he's saying the AAA guns will not be able to unload on us at night. So we're just hanging out here. We're at 370 knots, which is actually we're pretty steady. We are bringing them in. So I'm actually going to pull the throttles back just a little bit because, as you heard, we want to stay behind them. We want to let them take out all the SAM sites before we get in there. So just keeping an eye on our speed. And we're still about 40 miles from Steerpoint 2. We're 36 miles from Steerpoint 2. Now, one thing to note is that after Steerpoint 2, our targets are actually just east of Steerpoint. So they're northeast of Steerpoint 2. So once we get closer to Steerpoint 2, I'll pull the targeting pod up and we'll start looking to the east of Steerpoint 2. Or, well, really north of Steerpoint 2. I say east because it's to the right of, but it's also north of. So it's to the northeast of Steerpoint 2. Alright, we seem to have leveled out a little bit in terms of pace. So I'm going to try to keep it right around 330. And then I am going to move my radar range back out so that I don't get surprised by an airplane taking off. That'd be just absolutely stupid. Alright, so they are up there. They're going to be sanitizing the SAMs as they come online. And then it is our mission to sanitize the ground. keep waiting for that Uzi Fence In call out. I know it's coming. There's no way we're going in wingtips glowing. It's not gonna happen. Oh, well. Oh, I was gonna say, interestingly, I guess we were flying through a cloud, because I was gonna say, interestingly, it looks like Uzis 3 and 4 have already fenced in.
Uzi Flight Fence In.
Boom. I knew it had to be coming.
3, 4.
Oh yeah, at that 20-mile call out. Alright, master arm on, air to ground selected. Make sure the weapon is hot. Yep, sure is. So go over here, grab the targeting pod. And I'm actually gonna match the targeting pod to what we're gonna see on the, that actually might be, no, what I was gonna say is I'm gonna match the targeting pod to what we're actually gonna see on the Maverick. That way I can kind of, I have a good understanding of what I'm looking at. Now what do we have here? It's a building.
Springfield, Uzi, Darkstar. The Marines are reporting artillery fire and taking casualties. Mission is go as fragged. Springfield copies. Uzi copies.
Okay, we're gonna turn a little bit off center here.
Uzi Flight, get ready. We go with Mavs first after Springfield is negating the SAMs. Arty first. Secondary, any AAA you identify. Use your cluster bombs. Egress over Tinian. ELS at Rhoda. Bail out over Tinian if needed. 2, 3, 4. Magnum, HQ7. Magnum, SA6. Missile, HQ7. Break, break, break. Attack primary target and rejoin. Rifle from the west. Rifle. Magnum, HQ7.
Yep, we are just lobbing missiles in. Boom. Oh, that's a lot of damage that those missiles just rained down.
Dark Star, Uzi. We scored hits on the artillery.
Dark Star confirms Marines are reporting that the shelling stopped. Return to base. Good job. Join up.
Boom. Nice. Alright, egress points. Works for me. Whoa, whoa. Hey, 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 hey. The hell is happening? Oh yeah, nope.
Uzi Flight, anyone copies?
Oh,
Loud and clear.
well, shit.
I just had a total electrical failure here. Everything went blank. This seems okay now. You need battle damage check? Negative. If this happens again, I'll roll into you.
Okay. Yeah. Whoa! Don't tell me negative. Go hit the tanker, dude.
Charlie Foxtrot, this thing is going to crap. Dark Star, Uzi. I have a snag here in the cockpit.
That's an electrical.
Is Tinian open?
Yep.
Uzi,
Tinian.
stand by.
I may have to send it to the taxpayers soon. Uzi Flight RTB. I'll divert to Tinian or bail out. Negative. We stay with you.
And Tinian is Steerpoint 2.
RTB, RTB. Roger. Bring it down. It's nothing. 3-4, form up. We're going home.
Alright. Until we know.
Uzi 1-1, Dark Star, can you make it to Tinian? The
Yeah,
Marines have
I already
the
told you I
runway
could.
and the lights are up. Be advised, there may be FOD on the runway. No tower.
No tower.
Roger, Dark Star. That's all I need. Runway 8.
That's firm. Land on runway 8. Right turn if you have to go around. Otherwise, you may be facing AAA and SAM.
Copy. Runway 8. Clear to land.
Okay. So we're gonna make a U-turn. The good news is, looking at the charts, going to Steerpoint 3 will basically set me up for a straight-in landing at Steerpoint 2. We are 15.7 miles from Steerpoint 3, so... At this point, it's just any other night.
Flight, RTB.
So a bit of a pain here. Pretty sure that's gonna be. Yeah, there's the airport right there, coming into view. Okay. I was gonna say that's a problem, but that was my fault. So I think what I'm gonna do is actually fly this using the night vision to make sure that my situational awareness is as good as it can be. So we're gonna throw out the speed brakes. We're gonna throw out the anchor because we are gonna have to dive. We're gonna descend. Make sure there's no mountain between me and the end of the runway here. And we were warned if we have to wave off, we're going to push to the right, not the left, because we don't want to get shot by a rogue SAM. Okay, so we're down to 3,400. Gear is coming down. Hopefully that goes 3 green, no red. Okay. 3 green, no red. We do have the speed brakes out. Slowing down a little more than I'd like. Getting some weird vibrations. The jet is a little unsteady. What I can tell you is the jet better chill out. I am way high. And way too steep. I'm not real careful. I am going to have to go around.
Uzi 1-1 on final, runway 8, gear down and locked.
Uh-huh. Just try not to run over any FOD. Okay, airplane, what are we doing? Stop!
Darkstar, Uzi 1-1 landed. Taxi to parking.
Holy moly.
Sierra Hotel.
Woo! That's as far down the runway as you can go. I mean, really. I don't know where the exit ramp. Oh, well, ha! Look at that. I assure you that was not on purpose. Just about ran out of real estate. So that cut it a little close as far as that's concerned. So we'll just taxi back this direction and we will shut it down. And then we scored all sorts of hits on vehicles, so I'm looking forward to seeing the summary after we get done. But I'll tell you right now, me and my team, my flight, we made it rain. I was watching all sorts of stuff fly by me as my flight launched. Okay, it's not like I have an assigned parking space, so I'm just gonna roll forward here into the light. Tell you what, I'm actually gonna put it on that pad right there. That's not a pad, so I'm actually gonna put it here. Here is good. Here's great. I'm here for the Marines. I'm here to cheers them. If I'd have really thought this through, I would have parked in the light so that I could see what I was doing. Alright, let's shut it down. Finish opening this canopy. And we'll head to the summary. Let's see how we did. Well, that's interesting. Okay, let's talk about this for just a second. So the result is 100, so this was a victory overall. I appreciate that. I can appreciate that. But look at all the stuff I hit. Did I kill any of it? No. Okay, sure. Did I hit a bunch of stuff? Yeah. I hit AAA and also I hit a SAM. What? Why didn't I get credit for any of that? Okay, so all good. All good. Really, you know what? Like, in all fairness, the mission's a success. Then I had an electrical error. Then I had to land at a weird airport. We almost ran off the end of the runway, but we didn't. Mission was a success, and I hit a lot of things, so this is kind of a deceptive number. I'm happy with it. Mission succeeded. Call it a day. Alright? This has been Rick NSX. I appreciate you hanging out with me here on Mission 12 for Artillery Strike. Looking forward to seeing where the rest of this campaign takes us. If you haven't already done so, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, notification bell so you know when our next content posts. And until then, see you next time.